Hello, folks. A little bit of an interruption there. That happens when you're uh, doing a program and you have your cell phone next to you and turned on. But let's continue with news in the flash. We have a lot of news to go over today. So in part two of news in the flash for North America's Realm, um, let's see where we left off here. So the next news item in this. Okay, we were talking about the ICE raids. That's a good thing. It's good that it's happening and so on. Um, No, we also talked about judge blocking birthright citizenship executive order and the kind of the history behind that. They may need a constitutional amendment. Dershowitz and other uh, major lawyers are saying that that might be the case. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think they do. I think that there is an argument to that Trump's executive order is within the context of the amendment because these are not former slaves. And I think we have a right to determine who our citizenship is. And again, it should be based on having an American mother and or an American father. Um, period. Straight up. All right. So the next news item is we were talking about the America First Act in Congress, denial benefits for welfare and other benefits. We were talking about that as well. And again, I support that. Um, Now, per President Trump, California must turn on its water supply in order to receive aid. Right now, they have a large amount of water, from what I've heard from President Trump, both on like Sean Hannity and on other programs. He said this numerous times. He even mentioned it to Governor Newsom. They have a tremendous amount of water that they could go down to Los Angeles and cover the entire state. They wouldn't need all these reservoirs. They actually have it, but they're preventing it from going there to protect some sort of fish. Now, and he did issue an executive order, people over fish, which addresses this, and hopefully that goes into effect, and the people of California can receive relief, not only lower water bills, but having water in the fire hydrants and so on to fight these horrible fires. Um, they have enough water; it's just not getting to them because of again the green agenda cult that has taken over the Democratic Party. That's ruined left wing parties across the world, workers' parties that were there to stand up for the common citizen, common workers. They have been ruined by the green agenda and the woke agenda, especially. Um, so so he has said that to them. We'll see how that develops. The next news item is states should handle disasters with federal aid involved. So basically, the state would handle disasters. They would request federal aid, and the president would have the money to release federal aid to them. Um, or maybe Congress would pass a you know some sort of bill to do so. I think it should be put in the hands of the president and be much quicker for disasters um, to assist them, for federal assistance, and that they should do away with FEMA, which was created in the Jimmy Carter administration, because all it does is get in the way more than it worked well underneath Trump's presidency, and I think it worked pretty decently under the Clinton presidency as well, Bill Clinton. But if it's not run right, it won't, and it'll get interfere, and it did so in North Carolina. So I think that's a good idea. I'm generally in favor of that. I think it makes common sense to do that, and they should pursue that. House GP is launching a probe into the J6 committee. That's also a good idea. I don't generally like all these committees about probes and so on, because it just takes us away from reforming America and getting America back on track and to in the golden age. But they need to get to this because it's continuing to be used by the idiots out there, the mainstream media and so on, who want to discredit President Trump and all that. Um, about the insurrection and all this other nonsense. The J6 committee destroyed a lot of evidence. They committed a lot of criminal acts in doing that, in my opinion. And of course, they were pardoned by President Biden, which he has a right to do. But now that they're pardoned, they can be called in, and they no longer have Fifth Amendment protections. They must tell the truth, and if they lie, and there's evidence that they're lying, perjuring themselves before Congress, they can be put in jail for that. So this needs to be pursued. They need to get down to what really happened. Um, and then the last item here that I have down is Hamas. This is kind of international news. Hamas has used UN facilities to hide hostages in Gaza. It's very shameful. The United Nations is a good idea on paper. It doesn't work in reality. Um, the Security Council will work if it's used in the right way. But the other parts of it are just you got human rights commissions with dictatorship states with members. So the UN really needs reform or whatnot, and that can be discussed at a later time. But yeah, that's what Hamas was doing. I don't know if they did it with the UN's knowledge, but that's what they did in order to hide them. And then Houthi rebels out in, I believe, south of Saudi Arabia is where they're located. The ones that were attacking ships and so on, down in the Red Sea and preventing ships from getting through, interrupting international trade, and again, causing higher prices to us in the long run, this and that. They've been labeled a terrorist organization again, so now they could be cut off in funding. They could be attacked as terrorists, much like the cartels in Mexico. So, which are two things I agree with. So I had a little bit of an interruption there. So this is kind of the second half of that. So I wanted to just come on and finish up the news for the day. Again, I'm trying to improve my lighting. Uh, it's not the best lighting as you can see here. As we do the news in a flash for you and give you our analysis, we try to increase the analysis. Eventually, I would like to move on to live streaming so that I could do it that way as well and just do kind of little snippets of the most important news that we can put out there for you as well. But we're glad to have you here, folks, if you're watching this, and you have a great day, folks.